Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia and today I want to show you how to make a Basque Burnt Cheesecake. It's a pretty simple recipe. This Basque Burnt Cheesecake actually originated from Spain in the San Sebastián area from a bar called La Viña. That's two words, so I'm trying to pronounce it right. So in some places, this cheesecake, instead of being called a Basque Burnt Cheesecake, is actually called a La Viña cheesecake. Basque are actually a people from Spain and France and in the bordering regions. This cheesecake not only is easy to make, it's simple, it has a unique flavor just because it's burnt. So as you guys will notice, it is burnt on top. The sides kind of get burnt. There's nothing complicated about making it. There's only a few ingredients that go into it. And I think you guys can make it. If I can make it, you definitely can make it. So I'm gonna show you how to make it. Hopefully you guys are subscribed to me. If you're not, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let me show you how to make this Basque Burnt Cheesecake. To start off this Basque Burnt Cheesecake, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you want to butter a 9-inch springform pan. Make sure you're using a springform pan just because it makes it for easy removal at the end. Then you want to line it with parchment paper. Make sure you're using 2 sheets of parchment paper that go above the pan around 2 inches, and then you want to stagger the top piece of parchment paper above the other one, and you do want it to be creasy and crinkly looking. Make sure you're pressing the parchment paper down into the baking dish. You don't want it to be having air pockets or anything like that, so just follow the baking dish at the bottom and press the parchment paper into it. Then go around the sides, making sure that your paper is creasing. It will look really pretty once it's finished. It might not make any sense now, but trust me, it's going to be beautiful. Then I tuck some of those edges away from the pan just so you guys can see what I'm doing. It makes it easy for pouring, and your pan should look something like this. Finally, after all that work, we are ready to start making our cheesecake. So we are making this cheesecake in our standing mixer, which makes it super easy and convenient. Add in your room temperature cream cheese. We are using 2 pounds of cream cheese. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it is totally worth it. Make sure it's at room temperature. Then you want to add in your sugar, and using a paddle attachment with your standing mixer on medium-low speed, start beating this mixture until everything is incorporated. You want to make sure that the sugar gets dissolved into the cream cheese. Make sure it is super smooth and there is no lumps. You might need to scrape it every so often. It takes a few minutes to get the sugar completely dissolved into the cream cheese, but once the sugar is completely dissolved and there is no more lumps of cream cheese, you can start slowly adding in your eggs. Add 1 egg at a time. Make sure it is completely combined before you add the next egg. There are 5 eggs going into this cream cheese dessert, this cheesecake, but it's all worth it. Once everything is nicely combined, slowly add in your vanilla, get that all mixed up, and then you can start drizzling in your heavy cream. I know you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, this is a lot of cream cheese, and there is a lot of heavy cream going into this recipe. That is very true, my friends, but listen, this dessert is going to be so good. It's just divine. It's going to be fluffy. It's kind of like a souffle. I don't know, it's just really good, and I think you guys are gonna like it. It's totally worth the calories. So once you've added all of the heavy cream and everything is combined, I want you to sift in your flour and your salt. Try to get all the clumps out. You don't want any lumps of flour. And then go ahead and add it back to your standing mixer with the paddle attachment and turn it on slow speed, making sure it is nicely combined. Then go ahead and mix this until it is all nice and smooth. You might have to scrape the sides every so often. I went ahead and made sure my batter was extremely smooth. Scrape off the paddle attachment too with a rubber spatula. You don't want any bits of flour or, like cream cheese lumps. None of that stuff. You want your batter to be extremely smooth. And since there's not a lot of steps or ingredients into this cheesecake, really do take your time and make sure it is extremely smooth. Next, make sure your baking dish is sitting on top of a baking pan just to avoid any mess. Then add in this cream cheese batter onto the prepared pan. Make sure you scrape every last drop out of the bowl because you want to make sure that you have the most of the cheesecake. I smoothed the top, and then I went ahead and lifted the paper up so it was coming up and not to the side. I shook it a little bit to get some of the air bubbles out, and it's a little bit jiggly. It should look like this. Put it in the oven, and you want to bake it for around 60 to 65 minutes or until the top is completely burnt, but the center still has a slight jiggle to it. So it should look something like this. You can tell it is super jiggly. The top is burnt. It looks gorgeous. To me, it kind of looks like a souffle. It kind of does the same thing as a souffle. It bloats up and then it kind of releases. And you'll see that there is some cracks to my cheesecake, which was completely fine because it will deflate a lot. This is what the sides look like, a sneak peek. And once it deflates, you won't even see the cracks. So make sure it is cooled completely, I tell you, completely. Then you can release the spring form pan, slowly peel the parchment paper back. The final parchment paper reveals the beautiful cheesecake. I love how the sides look. The top looks gorgeous, but the sides are something else too because they're slightly burnt in between. I love the little creases. I love how it looks so rustic and beautiful. I think each and every single Basque Burnt Cheesecake looks different. Once you cut into this cheesecake, it's like a fluffy cloud that you're slicing into. It is so soft. It feels so good. I hope you guys give this one a try, at least just to cut into it. But no, seriously, if you guys taste this, this is like amazing. I love that this cheesecake is pretty much a no-brainer. It comes together beautifully. There's nothing complicated about it. Even the ingredients are super simple. There's not many. You probably already have them on hand and you can serve this up any way that you like. The first day, the flavors are all right, but as it sits, if you can make it to the second day, the flavors definitely intensify. I love the burnt caramelized flavor to it. This would be really good with some fresh fruit alongside it, just because it is a little bit heavy, but the texture is extremely light and fluffy. It's pretty much like you're eating nothing but air. It's kind of like cotton candy. Not really, but kind of, because it's like so light. I love the way it came out. I love that it's simple. I really hope you guys give it a try. It is totally worth your time. Hopefully you have been inspired to make your own Basque Burnt Cheesecake. Nothing complicated about it. It's pretty easy. The hardest part about this cheesecake is actually waiting for it to cool. That's it. Once it's cooled, serve it at room temperature. It's super delicious. It melts in your mouth. Super airy. Kind of reminds me of a giant ball of cheesecake and sugar and a little bit of egginess to it. Not too much, but it's actually pretty good. I hope you guys make it. I hope you guys are inspired by it. The recipe is going to be down in my description if you're ever curious about any of that. And before I let you go, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Thank you in advance. And if you made it this far, thank you also. I do appreciate it. Check out my other videos. And until next time, I'll see you later. See ya.